Hi dear students. So, how was the last module? Did you read it? If not, please pause the video and take a quick recap of what you learned last time. And then we plunge straight into the text. Please open your textbooks. We shall begin with Act 1, Scene 1. There is a synopsis of the scene given in your textbook. Please read that with me. Shakespeare's opening scenes are masterpieces. This scene shows the popularity of Caesar and the jealousy of the tribunes. Who are the tribunes? Please make a note over there. The tribunes are a part of the Roman Senate, who are jealous of Caesar's growing popularity. The fickle mob plays a major role in the play. I want you all to underline this. What do you mean by fickle mob? See children, the mob never has a brain. There is what we call as a mob mentality. It will just go along with the mass. A mob can never think for themselves. So here, that is why the word used over here is fickle mob. Means their minds are easily changed. You can change their minds very easily. So the fickle mob plays a major role in the play. You will see how, because when they are waiting for Caesar, then when Caesar is assassinated, when Mark Antony gives his speech, when Brutus gives his speech, the mob is so fickle-minded that it keeps changing. Once it agrees here, once it agrees there. That is why it is given to you. Now this scene opens in a street of Rome. The workmen are rejoicing in Caesar's triumph over the sons of his old rival Pompey. The tribunes, you will remember that Pompey was defeated by Caesar, and even his sons were defeated by Caesar, and that is how he has come into power. But there are a faction of the Romans who still love Pompey and who like the old republican ways. The tribunes rebuke them and order them to return to their work. They drive the crowd off the streets and set about removing all the decorations so that Caesar's procession will seem a failure. See, when somebody is jealous of you, they will do everything to ensure that you fail and that you do not succeed in what you are planning to do, or that your victory is not celebrated by anybody. So this is what the tribunes are trying to do. Okay? Now I want you all to remember that sometimes when you are given reference to context, you get a 1-mark question which asks you where does this scene take place. So while you are at the play from the beginning, my advice to you is to start learning which scene happens where. Or you can make a note, and every time you come to a new scene, you write over there, Act 1, Scene 1, a street. Act 1, Scene 2, this. So you can keep learning which scenes we are going through. Okay? So, enter Flavius, Marullus and some citizens. Please also remember the people who enter a particular scene. Okay, now here Flavius and Marullus, they are the tribunes and they are entering the scene along with some citizens. Hence, home you idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday? What? Know you not? Being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a labouring day without the sign of your profession. Speak, what trade art thou? So here we begin the way Flavius begins by getting angry, and he begins by rebuking the citizens and telling them that you are idle creatures. Note the words idle creatures. And he tells them to go away from there, and he asks them that you are mechanical people, means you are laborers, you are manual workers, and you are not wearing your workman clothes, and you don't have a sign of your laboring tool, the tool that you carry. Normally what used to happen is that people would be recognized what profession they belong to depending on what sort of attire they are wearing and what sort of tools are there in their hands. So he's asking them that on a laboring day, on a working day, why are you walking on the streets of Rome without your tools and without wearing your laboring dress? Now he's asking them, what is your profession? Speak, what trade art thou? The first citizen says, why sir, I am a carpenter. So Marullus asks him, where is thy leather apron and where is thy rule? The rule is what the carpenter uses to measure. So, what dost thou do with thy best apparel on? What are you doing on the roads of Rome, on the streets of Rome, wearing your best clothes on? You should be wearing your working clothes. You, sir, what trade are you? Now he is asking the second citizen. So the second citizen replies, Please mark the second citizen's words. Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler. Now, the second citizen does not answer him directly, and he says that if you compare me to a fine workman, means to a workman who is very good, then I would say that I am a cobbler. So, Marilus, but what trade art thou? Answer me directly. So he's saying, if you compare me to somebody and then I would say you are that you are a cobbler, why are you comparing yourself to somebody else? Give me a direct answer. What is your trade? Second citizen, a trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls. So he's saying, I have a very safe conscience and I hope that I can use my trade with a very safe conscience, and I am a mender of bad souls. Please underline the word souls over here. Bad souls, okay? Now souls over here has been used, there is a pun on the word. What do you mean by saying that there is a pun on a particular word? Means it has been used with two meanings in it. Now what are the two meanings that are used over here? One, of course, is the souls, where we talk about the shoe sole, and the second one is about the human soul. So he is saying that I am a mender of souls. He is giving his introduction in that form. Marilus, but what trade, thou knave? Thou naughty knave. Naughty knave here means fellow, cheeky fellow. So a naughty knave is a cheeky fellow, or somebody who is worthless, who doesn't have much worth. So he's saying, what trade? What trade, thou knave? Thou knave, thou naughty knave. So second citizen, nay, I beseech you, sir, be not out with me. Be not out with me means do not get angry with me. Yet, if you be out with me, sir, I can mend you. So he's saying, even then, if you really get angry with me, don't worry, I have the capacity to mend you. What meanest, Marilus? What meanest thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow. So he's saying, what do you mean by saying that you are going to cure me? Mend me means cure me. What do you mean by saying that you are going to cure me? You are so cheeky, you are so saucy, you are so arrogant. How dare you say that? So the second citizen says, why, sir, cobble you? Second citizen, truly, sir. Oh, Flavius, thou art a cobbler, art thou? So Flavius here says that you are a cobbler, isn't it? Second citizen, truly, sir, all that I live by is with thee all. Underline the word all. Again, there is a pun on the word all over here. All is a tool that is used for making holes in leather. If you have gone to a cobbler, you will see that they use a long, thin needle-like thing which is curved at the end, and they pierce that into the sole of the shoe for its stitching. So he's saying that all that I live by is with the all, and I meddle with no tradesman's matters, nor woman's matters, but with all I am indeed, sir. Now I wanted to take now the word all over here, like I told you, there is a pun on that. How do we come to know there is a pun? Because of this next statement where he says, I meddle with no tradesman's matters, nor woman's matters. So here he is using the word all as all people. So he's saying, I live with the all, with all the people, but I meddle with nobody's affairs. And then he continues to say that I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. Just as we human beings go for surgery, if there is some a part in your body which is not functioning properly and which is not getting cured by regular medicines, then you might have to go in for surgery. So he is saying that similarly, I am also a surgeon for old shoes. When the shoes become absolutely torn and tattered, almost as if you have to throw them away, at that time I mend them, I repair them, I perform surgery on them, I stitch them, I stick them, and I perform surgery on them, as a result of which I repair them and they become good again. So I recover them, just as a surgeon recovers a human being. As proper men as ever trod upon neat's leather have gone upon my handiworks. I am that good. Flavius, but wherefore art not thou in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets? So now Flavius is asking him a straight pointed question that, okay, we understood your profession. Now what I want to know is, means Flavius is saying, what I want to know is, why are you not in your shop? Today is supposed to be a working day, and what is the reason that not only are you out on the streets, you are taking all these men out on the streets? The second citizen, with us, probably he would have smiled, when he said, truly, sir, to wear out their shoes. Means I am doing this so that I can wear out their shoes, and as a result of which I can get more work. But indeed, sir, we make a holiday. He's saying, but actually we make a holiday means we are out on a holiday. We have declared a holiday for ourselves so that we can celebrate the return of Caesar, the return of the victorious Caesar, and to rejoice in his triumph. Now Marullus, wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? So Marullus is asking, what are you rejoicing at? What has he brought home? What are the provinces that he has conquered? What are the captive bonds in his chariot wheels? You know, at that time, if you read in the explanation given to you over there, prisoners were tied with chains to the chariot of the conqueror to pay respect to him. So he's saying, what is there to grace in his captive bonds, his chariot wheels? What are you all rejoicing? He has not, what tributaries follow him to Rome? He has not attached some provinces to Rome. Rome is what Rome was. There is nothing great that he has done. You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things. Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome. Now he's literally abusing them. He's very angry and he calls them blocks. Blocks means hard-hearted people. People with stone-hearted, who are like stones and who have no sense. So he's saying, oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome. Knew you not Pompey? Do you not remember Pompey? There was a time, many a time, and oft means there was many a time when you have climbed up to the walls. You climbed on the walls and on the battlements, up to the towers and on top of the windows, yea, to chimney tops with your infants in your arms. You climbed with your infants in your arms, and there you have sat the entire day. You have sat the entire day just to see Pompey come back in after his victory. That is where you have been sitting. And when you would see Pompey coming, like even from far, because you were on top of the wall or tower or whatever, on a height, when you saw Pompey coming from very far, when you saw his chariot coming from very far, you would shout on the top of your voice, Hail Pompey, or whatever, some victorious shout. So you have forgotten all that. So to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome, and when you saw his chariot but appear, have you not made an universal shout that Tiber trembled underneath her banks to hear the replication of your sounds made in her concave shores? So he's saying that your shout has been so great that Tiber literally trembled, the river, by the echo of your sound. And now, do you put out your best attire? And now cull a holiday? And do you now strew flowers in his way? That comes in triumph over Pompey's blood. So this is where he is trying to play upon the emotions of the mob. This is what we call, this is one example of the fickleness of the mob, which you must make a note, that here he is playing on the emotions of the mob, where he says that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood. So he is telling them that you are wearing your best clothes, you have taken a holiday for yourself, you are throwing flowers in his way. And in whose way? In the way of a person who has come victorious over Pompey's blood. Don't you feel ashamed of yourselves? See, this is emotional, okay? Run to your houses, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods, to intermit the plague. He's saying, go to your house, run, fall upon your knees and pray to God that intermit means delay, that he delays the plague, that needs must light on this gratitude. So he's saying that go, run to your house, fall on your knees, pray to your gods, so that the gods do not so that the gods delay the plague. Intermit the plague is delay the plague. Because he's saying, I am very sure that there's going to be a plague on our city because you all have been very ungrateful towards Pompey. Now Flavius puts in his word and he says, go, good countrymen, and for this fault. So he's telling them, go, good countrymen, and for this fault. What is a fault? Celebrating over Pompey's blood. Assemble all the poor men of your sort. Draw them to the Tiber banks and weep your tears. So much he's telling them that you go to your houses, not only you weep, you bring all the people around you who are of your type, bring all of them to Tiber, and you all weep, so much so that the lowest bank of the river Tiber, where the water is the lowest, into the channel till the lowest stream, means where the water is the lowest water stream, comes right to the top, becomes very exalted. Into the channel till the lowest stream do kiss the most exalted shores of all. So shed your tears into the Tiber until the lowest water floods to the level of the highest bank. That is the meaning. exeunt all the citizens. So here we see that the mob is fickle and they have all exited. See where their basest metal be not moved. They vanish tongue-tied into their guiltiness. Now who is this? He is talking, Flavius is talking to Marullus. That just see how these people are. They have been moved and now they've all run away. They've vanished tongue-tied. Go you down that way to the Capitol. This way will I. Disrobe the images if you do find them decked with ceremonies. So now he is giving instructions to Marullus that you go on this side, I will go on this side, and wherever you see any of Caesar's statues etc. all decorated and there are decoration on the streets, you pull all the decorations down. Now what is the reason that he wants to pull all the decorations down? So that when Caesar comes back with his victorious procession, he does not see any decorations or anything, so he feels that the people are not with him. Marullus, may we do so? You know, it is the feast of Lupercal. So Marullus is asking him, can we do such a thing? Can we remove all the decorations? It is a feast of Lupercal, no? So Caesar's victorious march back into Rome has coincided with the feast of Lupercal. Feast of Lupercal is the feast which they hold on the 15th of February. So that is the same time when Caesar is coming back to Rome. So he's saying, can we do that? Now this feast of Lupercal was a feast day to honor the god Lupercus, a protector of the flocks and herds. Now there is one thing about the feast of Lupercal which I wanted to make a note over here, that this feast was banned at the end of the 5th century. This feast was present when Caesar was there, but later on it was banned at the end of the 5th century. Now what exactly is this feast of Lupercal? There is more detail given behind where I'll explain to you. Flavius, it is no matter. Please make a note of that, okay? So 15th February and it was banned at the end of the 5th century. Flavius, it is no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. The vulgar means the common people, the citizens. So do you where you perceive them thick. So wherever you see lots of people, drive them out of the roads. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wings will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness? Children, please mark all these 4 lines. They are very, very important. It is a metaphorical comparison over here where Caesar has been compared to a bird. Yes, Caesar has been compared to a bird over here, and here he says that the growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wings. Now Caesar has been compared to a falcon, and a falcon has to have strong wings with lots of feathers. So he is comparing the common people who are out to celebrate the victory of Caesar. He is comparing those common people to the feathers of a wing of a bird. Like if there are no wings, there are no feathers in the wings of a bird will not be able to fly very high. You have to have strong feathers so that you can fly high. Your wings have to have lots of strong feathers in it. So he's saying these growing feathers. So growing feathers means the common people who are growing in their admiration of Caesar. So these growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wings. So Caesar has been compared to a falcon, and his wings are these common people. They are making him feel great. So if we pluck out these people, then automatically Caesar will fly at an ordinary pitch. Otherwise, he will soar above the view of men. Means he will fly so high that we will not be even able to look at him. That high he is going to fly, and keep us all in servile fearfulness. Means we will all be so scared of him. He is a dictator basically. Caesar was a dictator. And the reason I've asked you is not only to underline this, is not only because you should know the meaning of this and the fact that there is a metaphorical comparison over here. Caesar has been compared to a falcon, but also when we come to scene 2, same act 1, scene 2, you will see that a similar thought has also been expressed by Cassius. Okay, so we will come to scene 2. That is a time when we can compare the two. But please make a note over here that this similar thought, write it down, similar thought has been expressed by Cassius in scene 2. And with that, we come to an end of this session of module 2 because we complete scene 1 over here. And until next time, please read, comprehend, analyze, ask your questions if you want to, learn small passages, and confidently prepare yourselves for the exams. Because if you do this on a regular basis, I can guarantee you that you will excel. So see you at the next module. Signing off for the day.